Right. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Evelyn Liana. People call me Evie, and I will be your facilitator this short hour this morning. And just a little bit of background on myself. I have been teaching a classroom teacher for about 30 years, K through 8. The majority of my classroom experience has been in elementary. The last 3 or 4 years were in middle school, and we were using iReady. So I really love the program and wish we had it way back when. So this morning, we're going to just go ahead and start with our materials. I do have a bit.ly for you. And in that bit.ly, I'm going to put it in the chat here. I made a bit.ly for you that will show all the resources that we're going to talk about even more, because we do have this short amount of time. So those things, when you see it, it's going to look like this. Share the screen here. And then it has some iReady resources for you. We are going to talk about personalized instruction this morning. We are going to also look at standards mastery at the second half of the hour. Okay, so everything's pretty much here. We're going to talk just a few key points of those things, and then we'll go ahead and move on. All right, so I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. One thing about Zoom is you have to go back and forth with it. As far as, live, you can just kind of go here and there, right? Okay, so, uh, and then also if you have your teacher's guide with you, that would be great. If not, I can give you a link to have it as a digital version. So our agenda today, we are going to look at how we're maximizing personalized instruction and also give you a standards mastery orientation. So starting with personalized instruction, real quick, I want you to please in the chat, just in 1 to 3 words, describe how comfortable you are with personalized instruction. I know this is your first year of implementation, and you're kind of getting to know the program, getting to know iReady. You had your first diagnostic assessment, and then secondly, jot down a question you have about personalized instruction. So during this short time together, if I don't get to this question, maybe towards the end, we'll have some time to answer the questions that you might have. So real quick, in the chat, 1 to 3 words describing how comfortable you are with personalized instruction. And then the next thing is kind of jot down a question that you might have, and hopefully I can answer it within these few minutes, this half hour. And if not, we'll provide you some time in the later on to see if we can have a question and answer session. Alicia, thank you so much. She's provided the Teacher Success Guide digitally. So if you want to download that and keep it on your desktop, that's fine too. It's great having a team member here to help out with the chat and all of that. So thank you. Did you folks write down your question? Okay, feel comfortable. Thank you, Catherine. Somewhat. Okay. Learning how, right. And it is a learning process, and you'll find that it's a very, very powerful tool for you. Just a review about personalized instruction. We did this study back in 2019 school year with kids K through 8, and they found that kids who used the recommended or that met the recommended guidance for instruction, they achieved higher scores than if they didn't. So here was their average growth, but when they used the recommended usage for iReady personalized instruction, they exceeded that. And that means that they use between 30 to 45 minutes per subject per week, and they passed at least 70% of their lesson. So, it's important to see the background of this and how it really works. And again, here are the recommended goals. So we're balancing not only the minutes, but the lessons. So the recommendation again is 30 to 49 minutes per subject per week, and passing 2 lessons per week per subject. Okay, and then at 70% of lessons. Okay. Now, another important thing about personalized instruction is to, of course, monitor and respond. And here's some tips to do that. So kind of develop a weekly routine of reviewing, looking at student alerts, looking at how much time the kids are on there and the percent of lessons, the percentage of the lessons being passed. We recommend maybe looking at it every Wednesday and Friday, just so you know who's been on there, again, how much of the time they've been on there. And then intervene, meaning looking at, if the students, if you see those alerts, those yellows and reds, what's going on with them, so intervening. And then also, just basically using what you know about your kids and helping prioritize the usage time. Okay. And then so we're going to go ahead and log in. We're going to log into your account and look at what's going on with your personalized instruction. So I'm going to log into my demonstration account, and it's not letting me. Hold on one second. Okay, mine is still logging on. Apologize. Okay, so you should have your dashboard, and then right here, can you guys see the demonstration dashboard? Can you give me a thumbs up? Thanks, Megan. Okay, so you will see your tabs here and then up here too. Right here, of course, you can see the alerts that are coming off. So this is real time here at what's going on in a snapshot. So I have 6. The red means, of course, that a domain is shut off. I have 6 students with their domain shut off. Then I have 17 students here that the domains are about to shut off. So those are kind of giving you an alert, all right? And then because this is a demonstration account, that's a lot of kids. I am going to go here to the reports and then go to instruction. Okay, and then here's the personalized summary report. So you can look at this one. So we're going to look at reading. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and switch to maybe a grade 3. And then you're looking at your own. So again, here are the important parts of it. Here's the lesson time on task. And then here's the lessons passed. So this is the recommended time usage here is the 30 to 49 minutes. And then over here, looking at the percentage of the average of the lessons passed. And then here's your year-to-date data. And then, of course, you're going to go down here. And then this is the student, individual student data. So if you look at this first alert column and you hit that caret, it's going to bring up the red and yellow alerts rather than you scrolling up and down to find them. You can go to any of these and see, and it'll bring everything to the top. So for example, Nicholas, he has a domain shut off. So you again have to kind of look to see, and then any blue or any plus or minus, you can click on it, it'll give you more information. So here, his domain is shut off. So you can go ahead and click on that student and find out what's going on. I don't know why my internet is probably so, it's saying it's unstable. Okay, that's a first. So here with Nicholas, his his vocabulary and comprehension is turned off. So he's got two domains. And this is where you as a teacher have to find out, oh my goodness, what is going on? So again, at the lesson level, so we are again at the student level right here, we're looking at Nicholas. We're looking at the domains in the reading. So we see that two domains are shut off, and we have to figure out why they're shut off and what lessons that he's working on within those domains. So here we have a vocabulary domain. Again, that was shut off because he was, this particular lesson, he was working with words. And then the comprehension describing events. Okay. So that's when you would go in. So again, this is just a brief kind of uh, review of the personalized instruction. And then once you've decided and intervened and talked to the student, and you realize, and then you and the student agree, okay, can go on with it with the personalized instruction, you can turn it on by tapping view here, and then you would go ahead and toggle that on, and then don't forget to save it down here. Okay, questions? Okay, so I'm going to close that in. Now, the other report, so this is the personalized instruction summary showing you, again, just overall how the kids are doing. The other one that you can look at, so this is the summary, two ways to go. You can go to the instruction summary here, this way here, under instruction, personalized instruction by lesson, or you can go here, instruction, personalized instruction by lesson. So there's different ways to get into a report. So by here, the lesson, and if you kind of sweep over each one of these, it'll give you a different the description of what that item is. So this is viewing student lessons students have recently completed to identify common areas. Okay, so we're going to again hit reading or math, whichever.
A question. Sorry, I see a question. I see you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, I couldn't get my mute button off fast enough to say Mimi. Back when you were looking at individualized, and you were saying, how we turn off that domain or turn it when it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to, without checking each individual child who has an alert, to see like these three kids need breakup words with continuous sounds, and they all have alerts on, or do I have to check each of those alerts independently?
Yes, and you have to turn them on independently.
Okay. There's no report or anything that will say, these are the alerts you have, so I don't have to click each and every one to find them.
Well, you can look at the summary, by the summary here, and then it'll tell you the alerts here if you toggle on this button here or this caret, and it'll tell you those students. But as far as turning them on and looking at it, because remember the personalized instruction is personalized, so they might not be on the same lesson, they might be in the same domain. So you have to go to each individual student.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And is it Miss Childs?
Yes.
Those alerts update each week. So come into that summary report and look for those each week because they start over on Monday mornings. So yeah, look for those, freshly each week.
I was just trying to find a shorter way because like I have, say, 7 kindergartners who have alerts, but 3 of them had the same alert. So it would have been nice to just say, click, oh, these 3 have this alert, these 3. So I don't have to click on 7 different ones.
Is what you have to go into each student account to fix their account. One question I do have though, since Evie was going to the personalized instruction by lesson report, do you assign many lessons? And not just for you, Ms. Childs, but everybody, are you assigning lessons? Are you just pretty much letting the MyPath assign the lessons? One thing I was going to mention with assigning lessons, if you do that, the personalized instruction by lesson report is great because you can see all of the lessons that you assigned. And then if students aren't passing that, like if you assigned for a whole class and you've got a bunch of students who are struggling with a certain lesson, you see that, Ms. Childs, in one place. So if you had like 4 students who are struggling with digraphs or CVC words, then you would know, oh, I see this is an area where they're struggling with. But Evie, I'll let you walk through the report. I just wanted to mention, if you do end up assigning, this is a great place to look for that group, kind of like what you were asking about, Ms. Childs.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. So again, here is the report by lesson. So as Alicia said, if you are assigning, this is a great place to look at those kiddos. And then also it lets you know where they are. So for example, here's all the lesson overview. Here's the lesson overview. It lists all the lessons that the kids are working on. You can filter by domain. Well, okay, this week in kindergarten, we're working on phonics. I want to see what lessons my kids are working on so far. And then also, here's the lesson performance detailed by student. So again, this is the personalized instruction by lesson. You can toggle through back reading and math. And then you can also give it a date range. You can customize it or have the most recent 2 weeks or the current week. Usually the current week, it defaults to the current week because that's what we look at with personalized instruction, because it does reset every Monday, how the kids are doing. So, and then if you click on this lesson performance detailed by student, you can see Ivan is working on that one. And then if you look here under the student detail, so there's the lesson overview, looking at all the lessons. Again, you can go for all of the domains, but sometimes that could be a little overwhelming. So you want to, let's say 3rd grade teachers looking at comprehension. They just want to look at comprehension. Those are the lessons.
Evie, may I add something really quick?
Of course.
So I was speaking with Heather from iReady, and she said the date range section. So if you are planning on assigning lessons to students, if you do the custom and do it from the beginning of the school year, you can see which students have already done the lessons that you've assigned. So just, you want to make sure you're not reassigning and giving it to them again. But that you could also do that as well in here. So
that's correct. Yeah. Thank you. And then here's the student detail, and it'll tell you also on the right-hand side, who is it assigned by? So you can have all these assignments. It's all listed there. Oops, I don't want student detail. Why? There should be a list of students here, but you'll see a list that goes down, all iReady assigned, and then all the lessons that you as a teacher assigned for them. So that is
that date range is just this week. So there's just one student that had it this week.
Yeah. But there's on this one. Okay. Oh, you know why? Because I just clicked on one domain. So if I did the student, oh, no, the same thing. Okay. How are your folks? How are your kiddos? So let's go ahead and take a couple minutes, look at yours, your personalized instruction by lesson, and see where your kids are actually perusing through personalized instruction. I'm looking at the time, and I do want to pay attention to that so that we can get into the other portion of it. So at this time, we can go ahead and answer any questions that you might have. If you did jot down a question, let's go ahead and answer those for you today. But I'll give you this moment to go ahead and look at the personalized instruction portion. It let me change my name finally.
Are we waiting on questions for personalized instruction?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just kind of looking around
Mhm.
and giving you folks time to, because some, time is always against us, and just giving ourselves grace and time to look, and maybe there's a question there that you might have that we can answer for you.
Did you toggle on the students passed? Sorry, I was doing percent of students passed to see if there are any students that have not passed right here on this same report.
Is that to me, Catherine? I'm sorry.
Yes.
To the oh, okay. So yeah, when you're looking at the personalized, if the teachers are looking here, you can see the lesson time on task, and then monitoring it. That's taking us back to that summary,
Right.
and then looking at this average lessons pass again.
So
That's
will
the
you
current.
go back to personalized instruction by lesson?
Sure.
Yes. Thank you. Because I found this to be very helpful. So I was in the chat for a second, so I didn't know if you went over this, but the percent of students passed, will you toggle on that to see if we can put the lower ones at the top, or if there are any? Oh, they're all 100.
This is a demonstration. Let's
With
see
the
if
sample account, it's really limited, Catherine.
yeah.
That is a great point, because if you look at that, I think I know where you're going with this. If you
Yes.
look at
Yeah.
this, like say you've got 10 kids in your class taking the same lesson and only 50% of them are passing,
Right.
that gives you that
Right, because
that
that's
reminder that you need to reteach that, or
right.
Mhm.
That's what I found to be most beneficial about this particular report is in that percent of students pass section, you can see, oh, only 50% of my class passed this assignment that I assigned to them or that
Assigned.
they did. And you can
Mhm.
look, if you click the arrow, you can look at who completed it, what their percentage was, how many attempts. So that gives us a bigger picture of which students need more support.
Mhm.
So thank you for going into that.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions from our few teachers that are on about this report?
Or personalized instruction in general.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was not muted this whole time. Um, I just have it's not more of a question, but more of a comment. Like, um, I've been working on iReady, but like at the basic level, just like pretty much letting the students, like I haven't been assigning any lessons, but they've been just working on it, right?
Mhm.
I'm seeing that like, we can assign lessons and all this information over here. I think, I don't know if this is possible, but if someone could kind of just show us um, like a student that may be struggling, like how can we like use that data that we see on iReady to
Mhm.
like help them do better in the lessons, or like how can I take that information and then use it for like a small group or something?
Oh, that's a great question. So if let's say you're looking at the summary and you see one student here that's struggling with, remember Nicholas? So his domain was turned off, and then you're seeing several students. So whatever that domain is, you can go ahead and look at the lesson that he's working on or that they're working on. So this is describing events. You can actually go into that and look at the instruction itself and see where sometimes teachers would have the student come to them, and they will know where they are if you kind of go to inside of that particular lesson and then say, hey, Nicholas, what I'm looking at this lesson, and then you as teacher you have all this, and they know where they are. So talking to the teacher and talking to the student and looking where they are, and they usually can figure out, they can pretty much articulate, I'm having trouble with such and such. So based on, oh, let me get out of here real quick. So based on the lesson, you can go um, into their diagnostic result, and you can look at in the instructional grouping report and kind of look at some resources that are available to that group regarding that. Or you can go to what we call assess and teach, and these tools for instruction, and those will give you some short, very targeted skill-based lessons that are usually maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and teachers use those for small group or maybe whole group instruction. So again, Mr. Castro, you go to assess and teach, and then here's some resources and tools for instruction. And then you can also look into their diagnostic results or the instructional groupings. And if those kiddos are struggling within a certain domain, you can look at the recommendations of what it's listed in the instructional groupings report. Okay, I mean, there's just so many avenues that you can take in order to support the kiddos. So whatever, if it's reading or math, it's kind of like, let's see what you need, looking at their personalized instruction, looking at the diagnostic results, what those kids need as far as the instructional groupings and the
Awesome. I have one more question. How do I know
Sure.
like which one is the most important, like the one that they need the most?
What they need the most.
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at the results, the diagnostic results, let's go ahead and take math, for example. And I know I'm going a little over here. So this will tell you per student, or you can group these students. Basically, this is the class level here. And then the placement by domain, and then you can see what for the students where they are. So for example, again, you can toggle over here based on, so number in operations, these kiddos need the most help in number operations.
Mr.
Okay.
Castro, what site are you at?
Palm Vista.
Palm Vista. I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to come spend some time with you because we're going to move on to standards mastery, but you have lots of questions and I want to support you. So I am going to reach out to you and come see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And you're at Palm Vista?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
got that.
Okay. So teachers, we are going to transfer over to, let me go ahead and get back to the PowerPoint. So we were here. We're going to go move on. Again, the resources for personalized instruction, you can look into the teacher success guide, see the purple pages 96 to 97, looking at those resources, engaging our students. Again, there's some tips and tools, thinking about what you're going to be doing, what you're going to start to be doing with personalized instruction. So lots of questions. You can reach out to Catherine again at your district and she'll provide some information. And then if she's also welcome to ask us and Alicia and our team. So we are going to move on to standards mastery orientation. So if you're a K1 teacher, you're welcome to stay if you want, or go on up on your about your day. And thank you so much for joining us. Again, we're here to help you out. Okay. So again, the standards mastery, here's the iReady diagnostic. So giving you kind of the difference between the two. This is available for K through 8 or K through 12 and the standards mastery for 2 to 8. It's a fixed form and it's offers the mastery of specific content standards in the reading and math in grades 2 through 8. The reports are available at the class level and the student levels, and the administrators also have access to the data at the school and district level as well. So there's many ways that educators use the standard mastery. So for example, a lot of districts, they use this as an interim assessment. And when they use it, we recommend 2 to 3 standards per test. When you do a mastery check is when you're assigning, which standards that you want to check how the students are doing. Again, the assessments are meant to provide leaders and teachers with data so that they can make instructional decisions between the diagnostics. So that interim means between the diagnostics. And then a lot of the assessment features are the same. There are about 6 to 10 items per assessment. So per standard. And then they're about 15 minutes per test on average. And they're both teacher and district, teacher, school administrator, or district assigned. And teachers can also assign those too. And then we also use them for formative assessment process. So teachers can assign a mastery check to their students, so that let's say they taught, they taught a particular lesson to address a standard. And so they're going to use this to see if they need to reteach it or have to have further instruction in alignment with their scope and sequence of that particular subject, math or reading. Again, the recommendations using it 2 to 4 weeks after the diagnostic. You can use it 6 times per year, but making sure that's aligning to your scope and sequence. And then here's the same assessment feature. Teachers use this as an instructional tool just to see how the standard, how rigorous it is as far as in tune with what's being taught in the classroom. It's assigned as needed. So, they're used as small group or whole group for practice, individual students, and the same features. And then finally, so there's other, ways, but basically these are the 4 major ways that they're using the standards mastery. Again, and this one's for state summative assessment. So it's making, having the kids, it provides them exposure to the assessment items that's going to be on the summative state tests. So again, here's as needed. Some teachers use it like right before the state assessment just to see how they're doing. They pick a few standards, same assessment features. Now this is what the grade 2 students will see. This is their background, and they'll see a green tile there called mastery check. And then the upper grade teachers from 3 on up, they'll see this here. It's a blue background. Okay. And then this is their student experience. So when they log on, it'll also give them some, here's the mastery check. Okay, they've done it, completed work. So that's what they see. So let's go ahead and go live now. If you want to go ahead and go to I'm going to go to mine. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and create a new share. Okay. So if you go to reports, or excuse me, assess and teach, and you go here under assessment, you're going to look at standards mastery. So that was assess and teach, assessment, and standards mastery. If you go to reading, you're going to look and see that they have different forms. Pick the grade. And then again, you can toggle between reading and math here. And then these are the standards. So you can also filter if you know what standard you want to assess the kids. So you can either type it in there or just kind of go here. You can also filter by domain. And then you would have all these screens here. You would assign. So for example, you can also preview that particular standards mastery. Usually again, that's 6 through 10. And you'll see what the kids are seeing. You can answer them yourself. So why don't we take a few moments and do that, meaning go to your dashboard, go to assess and teach, go to assessment, go to standards mastery, and kind of, see how you can use this in your classroom. You can preview any of the standard mastery checks and then answer them. You might have an answer for us so that we can answer for you. So let's take a couple minutes doing that.
And I think we just have Candelaria on with us.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's really one-on-one at this point.
awesome.
So if you have any questions right now, you feel free to ask, and we're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking on mine when I go to assess and teach and then assessment. And all that I have that pops up are it says diagnostic, and then I have literacy tests. I don't have any standards mastery or assessment of Spanish reading.
So this is the reason why we're doing this training, is because they're not going to open it up to our district fully, because there's some teachers who have it until they've received the standards mastery training. So
Awesome. So you folks don't have it on your dashboard. Okay.
Right.
So
do you have the ability to turn it on for her since she's here?
yes, you can go on a demo. So let me go ahead and share that. Yeah. Let me, oh boy, let's see.
Yeah, sorry about that. That is one of the reasons why we are doing this training, is to provide this access to teachers.
Okay. So do you see the screen? Hold on. Okay. Right here, if you go to
Yep, go to that link.
Go to this right here. And I'm going to try to get it on. Hopefully that works.
Good morning, Blackrock. Morning.
Okay, I got it.
Just I got it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, so under report or assess and teach, assessment, and then standards mastery, you'll get to here. You'll get to here, and then based on the standard that you want to do a mastery check, you can filter it that way. If you know the name here, you can preview it. Okay. And then this is how you would assign it. Say, okay, I want to assign it, and that's right over here. And then basically you can either assign it to your whole class, or you can assign it to individual students. Or let's say you're doing a small group, you just want those students to do this one, to do that particular mastery check. And then all you have to do is get them, just kind of click on them, and then This green arrow will let you, it kind of tells you, okay, next. I wish they would put that arrow up here instead of down here. And then assign standard mastery.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so when you assign it, make sure that you give it a date here of when you want it to be available to the students, and then assign it, and it'll pop up on their student dashboard.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Sure. And then looking at the time. So you would look under reports. Now this time, let's say the kids, you've assigned them standards mastery. You want to see how they've done. So you're going to go under the reports. So for you, for sure, you're going to assess them. You're going to teach them. You're going to assign it. And then after they're done, you're going to go under reports. Did you want a few moments, Mrs. Candelaria, to kind of play around with it, with the assigning and stuff? Or are you good?
No, it's okay. I think I'm good on that part.
Yeah, it's pretty, self-explanatory as far as assigning. But once the kids are done, the reports here, and then on the left-hand side, it would say standards mastery. So you're going to click on that. And then you can look at the status, and that's going to let you know where the kids are, how many kids have started. I'm going to grade 3 here. Okay, so in a demo, again, it's kind of wonky, but you would see if you assigned it, how many kids have started, who've completed, and that's the summary. So the other one would be by test. So if you look on that one, I believe there's some information on here. Good. So here I'm taking a grade 3. The assessment that I gave as a teacher was using text features. And if you assigned any more, they would be listed here on that drop down. And then here's the skills summary. So anything in blue, it'll remind you, oh yeah, this is the total description of that particular standard. Tells you what skill. And then this is the performance distribution. And up here on the right is the key. So if you click on that, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, okay.
Oh, okay. So if you click on that, it'll give you the key. So greater these kids, and also it kind of mirrors the diagnostics, the green and the yellow and the red. So here's 11 students, and you kind of go over. There's one student that is progressing. It's within that 33 to 66% progressing spectrum. And then the red here, this is telling you the average score of how your kids did. And then these, what's really cool, it gives you resources. So if I click on that PDF, so based on those results, the report, this is gonna, and then again, it goes over the text, the standard. And then it'll tell you, here are some instructional resources. So if those kids are in the beginning phase, here are some ideas for you. Now, unfortunately, you folks don't have the toolbox. But you can look at, again, the tools for instruction. Okay, those are really cool. But then actually what it is it kind of gives you the focus. Okay, so knowing the focus here. And then if the kids are 1 grade level below and 2 grade levels below. And then here are some ideas for the tools for instruction that I was saying earlier. So this is the title of that tools for instruction. If you remember, tools for instruction were those targeted 15 to 20-minute lessons that are good for small group, or if the whole class needs it, then the whole group. So that'll give you an idea. And then for independent study, maybe you can assign this particular lesson to those kiddos. So that is that part of the resources here from the standards master results by test. So you can also go down here on student level. You can toggle which kids haven't been assigned, or here's that red. So, okay, so all these kiddos, what's going on? So you can either look at them here individually. What's Mia doing? Again, because this is a demonstration account, it will have, it's retrieving data, and sometimes it's, again, wonky. So I apologize that it's not giving us a full picture, if you will. But once you assign, you'll have some data here. If I go back to the PowerPoint, it'll kind of, let's see, share here. How are we on time, Miss Catherine? Looking at the, I want to
We have
honor
about 6 minutes
you. Okay.
till we end, so.
Okay. So here we kind of went through this live. Here's the key. And then here's what you would see the results in math if we, you know, the demonstration account didn't do that, but here you'll see actually how the kids did. And I'll give you the item analysis. The green indicates completely correct responses. The yellows are partially correct responses. And the red signifies incorrect responses. And then you're going to understand some of the misconceptions that the kids have. You can look at both the class and the student level. So this was a student, and then it'll give, it'll show you what questions they have. So that's another way of looking at, well, how is the student looking at these questions? Are they understanding it? So that's a neat feature about the standards mastery. So going back here, going back to the this report itself by test. So that in a nutshell, using it as an interim assessment, using it as a formative type of assessment, using, let's say, I know my teacher friends, they're using it, well, because based on the standard, they really want to focus in on a key standard. They use the standards mastery just to see how the kids are doing. So there's many, many ways to do that. And I know with districts, they would use it because say they have a district focus in math, and they really, really want to just focus on the number and operations, and within that, what key mastery standards. So I know a lot of districts use it for that. Anyways, we're going to use these last few moments to kind of regroup and look at things and kind of see where we are, looking at the questions. I'm going to go ahead and put the PowerPoint back on. Catherine, do you have any questions or things that I am missing that I should?
No, actually, I'm all as well.
That's good. So thinking about, Ms. Candelaria, what you can learn about your class using the standards mastery, and how are you going to respond and look at the resources that provides the support for those things. Also, in that Padlet, there's a column that has stuff for you for standards mastery and personalized instruction. So have it up here. So in that Padlet, it'll have like a column for standards mastery, and it'll give you an educator guide. So it'll actually give you a bunch of resources. Also, have you folks looked at iReady Central before?
Yes.
Okay, so iReady Central, yeah. So if you just Google, I want to say Google, but if you put in the search bar standards mastery, it'll give you all kinds of of things to look at for that. But I thought the Padlet would be a little bit helpful where everything's kind of at your fingertips. Like, so.
Yes, I agree.